Hello Internet, welcome to the website Matt David. My name is YouTube. I love bad movies. Not just any type of bad. I mean so bad that it tickles my funny bone. Sorry. Movies that attempt at being something and fail. Movies that aren't supposed to be funny, but make me laugh anyways. Because of my love for bad movies, I get an itch every once in a while. Something that forces me to watch the worst of the worst because I need to. Now you might be saying, Matt, that sounds like a problem. Joke's on you, I can stop whenever I want. I just choose to keep watching bad movies because if I don't watch them, my whole body starts to shake and I can't focus on anything. Thankfully, I think I've found yet another movie that will calm down my enormous appetite for pain. The brand new War of the Worlds movie released on Prime Video. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
William Radford. Okay.
This is William Radford, played by Ice Cube. Will is a domestic terror analyst working for the US government. While it's not exactly clear all the duties that job entails, it does include a fair amount of spying on people, even people that aren't even connected to any sort of active government cases. Like this random car that's on the highway where he taps into their phone conversation. It seems to me that he has the access and means to spy on anyone he chooses, because that's how hacking works, and Will is really smart. He's wearing glasses. Since Will works as a terror analyst, he's constantly on the scent of criminals and perps. Which brings us to the second important character of this movie. May I introduce to you the Disruptor. This Batman villain intends to spill the government's little secrets surrounding a new classified project called Goliath.
Is using their top secret Goliath program.
And we can't be having that happening, can we? The Disruptor begins live streaming to the public because apparently that's the best way to expose top secret government plans and have it be widely accepted as truth. Using this footage, Will gets to work pinpointing where the feed is coming from so they can put this crook behind bars. That is until we're interrupted by a call. Here we are introduced to Sandra from NASA. What is her job at NASA? How does she know Will? Turns out, the movie doesn't answer any of these questions. And now you look silly for asking them. Sandra has been tracking bizarre weather patterns as communicated by more stock footage that she shows Will.
Look, take a look at this. Doesn't make sense.
All right, that's crazy right there.
Perhaps the funniest line delivered in this whole movie. If the domestic terror analyst who specializes in hacking and spying on people for a living thinks the weather is looking crazy, then it must be serious.
I've never seen global storms like this. We can't figure out what's causing this atmospheric phenomenon.
Apparently everyone else at NASA doesn't have a clue what's going on. Typical. Sandra, for some unexplained reason, reached out to Will under the assumption he might know what's going on with the weather.
Any noise about it on your end?
Nope, I watch people, not weather.
Not sure why she thinks he would know anything about the footage. A local weatherman would probably know more at this point. Since Will easily gets confused about clouds, he returns his attention to finding the Disruptor. While doing so, we get another interruption in the form of his children.
Hey.
A muffin?
Yo, did you delete my game?
You know you're wasting your time with that guy.
Forgot to mention that Will has kids, but it's not like he has a great relationship with them anyways. His daughter Faith is dating someone that Will doesn't approve of. Classic dilemma. Will's son David fundamentally disagrees with Will's line of work, arguing that spying on people and accessing private information is not good.
Oh, I mean, spying on what's in people's Amazon carts?
Is that what you think I do?
Will has, of course, a brilliant counter-argument to this. In his opinion, people would rather be spied on by him than be blown up.
Listen, smartass. I know people would rather have someone watch them
Really?
than blow them up.
That's the choice? Give up our privacy or death?
Yep. I think it's a pretty fair trade if you ask me.
Somehow, I don't really think that constant surveillance on private citizens is the only solution to reduce domestic terrorism. But hey, I'm not a domestic terror analyst, and despite all previous efforts, I am not Ice Cube. If you're wondering why Will doesn't have a great relationship to his children, it's because he spies on them and constantly judges their life choices because he doesn't trust them to take basic care of themselves.
Hey.
A muffin? Really? a muffin. What are you thinking?
Jesus, Dad, how many times have we been
One
through this?
hard-boiled egg. All right, they're right next to the donuts.
But the guy's been through a lot. He lost his wife, which we know from this not-so-subtle dialogue from this scene.
Come on, you haven't even cleaned out her stuff yet.
That means he's totally in the right to be acting like an overprotective jerk. So these storms that NASA are scratching their heads over end up becoming worse. Along with the insane weather patterns, meteors start to fall out of the sky. We get this hilarious sequence where Will is forced to watch as the world falls apart, all from the comfort of his little hacker room, which puts me right in the middle of the action.
Oh, this is insane.
We're basically given the incredible treat of seeing the award-winning fictional work of H.G. Wells transpire through a guy's computer screen. And if that sounds really lame and stupid, you're right in thinking that.
Jesus.
I get it. He hacks, but you couldn't have made it at least a little more visually interesting to sit through? Sandra from NASA calls again as she inspects the wreckage of one of the meteorites. As expected, things get a little insane.
I've never seen anything like this. It's,
These meteors aren't meteors at all, but alien machines. Government officials then decide to meet over Zoom to figure out a course of action. On Zoom, though, that cannot be as secure as they think it is.
They have wiped out our entire satellite network, and we have no...
During this meeting, the government tasks Will with finding the threat level of these alien machines, which I think is a complete overestimation of his skills and expertise. He spies on human terrorists. Why would he know anything about these things that come from outer space? Despite this, Will is on the case. We get more sequences of his reactions as alien machines start to attack people on the streets. So he contacts government agents to let them know the US is under attack. He tells the US this information even though the television broadcasters and news stations already are reporting on this.
Destruction and chaos is rampant worldwide.
Will once again proves how indispensable he is to the US government. At some point his daughter Faith calls him, but this time she's in danger, and she's injured.
God, it hurts so bad.
So Will decides to leave his office in order to save her. But conveniently for the budget, the government has locked him in.
Has to be DEFCON 1. All essential buildings secured.
Thank God. I was worried this movie would stop doing this boring hacker stuff, but luckily, we're here to stay. So instead of leaving, he ends up hacking a Tesla so he can use autopilot to drive Faith to a hospital. During this sequence, we have a heart-to-heart interaction where we find out that Will's wife died of a disease or something.
You know what your problem is? You think you have more power than you really do. You think you have the power to have saved Mom from a disease.
So I'm supposed to feel sad. I'm so thankful movie studios know that I'm just a dumb idiot baby and need to be spoon-fed information like a baby. Will gets in touch with his daughter's boyfriend Mark so that he can drive to Faith and protect her.
My phone's been freezing out. I'm on my way to her now. Mark, you listen closely. Faith is losing blood.
Did I mention he works for Amazon Delivery? Hold on to this tidbit because for some reason it becomes very important later. Side note, but Devin Bostic is probably the only person I'm rooting for in this movie. He's just kind of there, but he's giving his all to his performance, which I really appreciate.
Mark.
What?
Mark.
Who is that?
Thanks, Roderick. I can always count on you. We then sit in on another Zoom call where we find out that the aliens are coordinating their attacks on infrastructure, power, water, things like that.
They knew exactly where they were going, and they are systematically eliminating resources and our ability to coordinate a response. Here, let me show you.
Will updates the president, who calls for immediate action.
I see no other option to initiate this war of the worlds to save us all.
Just like that, we're going to war with the aliens. No surprise there. I'm actually blown away with how long it took to officially declare it. We now are subject to more stock footage of military units mobilizing. Because Will is a complete whiz with hacking, he somehow was able to pinpoint and foresee exactly where the aliens will attack next. Databases.
You know, everywhere they've been going, there's a data center.
The aliens find our precious data centers around the world with all our information and begin taking it because, of course, we don't deem it important enough to have fail-safes or defend it. Who cares? It's just government data centers that hold all of our secrets and allow our intelligence systems to run and weapons to function properly. They end up taking everything, which breaches worldwide military systems because, yeah. This means we have to fight manually on foot, and because of that, we start to lose the war very rapidly. At this point, you're probably thinking that the aliens started attacking our data centers because that would cripple our military power. Nope. Not at all. They actually just smell information stored in the data centers because it turns out they eat data.
Why are they going after the chip?
The same reason they love my phone. These little guys are drawn to data.
What do you mean drawn to data?
It's intelligent. The more data it consumes, the smarter it gets.
These things eat data.
Exactly.
Okay, movie. Guess I'll just have to take your word for it. The way the aliens steal data and store it up to eat it are through these little bugs that they send out, which is how Sandra realizes that they are actually cyborg aliens. Yep, that's what we're going for here.
But look here.
Why is it blood inside of a computer
They're
chip?
a hybrid organism, biological and cyber.
David shares some bombshell news to his father over another call. He was the disruptor the whole time.
It's you? It's you!
Yeah. Well, yes, kind of.
How could you,
Yeah.
man? How could you? My own son is hacking the government.
Remember that guy from the beginning that I talked about briefly? David explains that the US government was secretly storing massive amounts of data on its private citizens and storing it in a super data center called Goliath.
It's too risky, Briggs. Shut it down now.
With all due respect, General, Goliath will be activated whether you like it or not.
Apparently, the government knew about the aliens and also knew that they fed on data. Will gets upset upon hearing this, so he confronts NSA Director Briggs about it himself.
Y'all know all about Goliath.
Wow, you did it.
Briggs, who is actually supposed to be the main villain of the story, convinced people that despite the potential risk, it was worth it. So since Goliath ended up being built, it, quote, rang the dinner bell for the aliens to come down on Earth and start causing the attack.
When you turned on Goliath, you rang a dinner bell that traveled throughout the whole galaxy.
Don't worry.
Briggs is convinced that spying and obtaining personal data from US citizens is for the greater good. It's to protect people, somehow.
The government's like mommy and daddy. If we can't track our babies, how can we protect them?
Is that what this is about?
I get the questions about privacy that were brought up earlier on, like especially when he was talking with his son David, but I don't really get why Will's upset here. Like, what's his logic? He's upset that the US government was actively collecting data from its citizens, which was the catalyst for the invasion. It just sounds really tone deaf when he was doing the exact same thing earlier in order to protect people from domestic terrorism. Oh, right. Spying on people and invading their privacy is only good when Ice Cube does it. Forgot about that. Will loses his job because of his little outburst, so naturally they revoke all permissions he had before.
Thank you for your service, Radford. You're
Gotta
dismissed.
stop this thing. Wait!
But luckily, his son David is easily able to hack into the government servers and give him access again, like nothing ever happened.
Touchdown. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Because obstacles are illusions, never actually meant to pose real limits on our characters. David and his team of supporters collaborate with Will on what can be done to save the world. They make a plan to upload viruses to Goliath so that the aliens eat the viruses and, I guess, die or something.
We use the data centers they've connected to as bait and plan an old-school rabbit virus to infect the data they're eating.
They plan to launch the virus around the world, infecting every domestic and foreign government data center along with Goliath. Sure, movie. Sure. I'm sure there won't be any repercussions to this at all. Meddling with other governments never backfires. Briggs convinces the government that scrambling jets to blow up Homeland Security with all the employees locked in the building would be the best course of action to prevent the aliens from eating all the data.
DHS. We must collapse the DHS building on top of it. A 40-foot pile of rubble on top won't allow them to get to it.
In order to destroy Goliath, Will needs to go into the database underground and manually inject the virus into the system.
Code is ready. Sending it to you now. Put it on a thumb drive.
I don't have a thumb drive.
But the only way to inject the code is to use a thumb drive. But who carries thumb drives anymore? Am I right? Guess the fate of the world is sealed then. Earth was a good run, but we'll just have to go extinct, I guess. That is until Faith's boyfriend Mark pulls out a secret weapon to outsmart the US government and supreme alien forces. Love. Just kidding. It's even more ridiculous. Amazon Prime Air, a prototype to make ordering stuff more convenient.
Faith can load it here and I can get it to you.
How?
Prime Air.
Prime Air.
Oh, it's the future of delivery. They've been training us for months.
Thankfully, the greatest company in the world, Amazon, is able to save us by remote drone delivery. The future is here, and I gotta be wearing shades because the future is looking bright.
Okay, I'm out. Hey, Mark, protect that sweet baby drone.
You got it, Pops.
Okay, nice try, movie. But if Will says, "I'm out," and then proceeds to leave his computer, who is typing and moving the cursor on his screen? I'm not sure if the people responsible for this movie didn't notice, or they think I'm just an idiot. I'm no idiot. I'm a very smart big boy. Mark starts piloting the drone to get the USB to Will. At some point, the drone flips over, which leads to a very funny scene where the group has to try and incentivize this random homeless man off the street to reposition the drone in order to save the world.
Faith, get his number.
I don't think this guy has a phone.
I mean, he must have a phone. Everyone has a phone.
Wait. Give him an Amazon gift card for $1,000. Hurry. Come on.
So naturally, they offer him a sketchy link for a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Like it's a scam. Bro doesn't even have a house, let alone a dress. Why would he need an $1,000 gift card?
I need some cover.
Is this supposed to make me want to use Amazon Air in the future? Because so far, I'm totally sold on it. Will gets into the server room for Goliath and plugs in the drive, which immediately works and infects all the data centers across the globe, causing the aliens to start malfunctioning.
Really did it. Sandra, are you seeing this?
This also causes the airstrike on the Homeland Security building to be called off for no apparent reason.
Abort! Abort! Abort!
The movie concludes with all the characters being recognized as heroes, including by Joe Rogan in the form of a tweet. This movie is so relevant. Will survives to advocate for better privacy laws for US citizens.
There's more important things to do than to worry about what's in people's Amazon cart.
I don't understand.
I'm done watching us. From now on, I'm watching you guys.
And along with this, he fixes his relationship with his children. Faith and Mark end up having a baby shower, and David is praised for his work in taking down the government. And that's pretty much it. You know what they say, all's well that ends well. And that movie didn't have a great ending. That was War of the Worlds 2025. It feels like the movie is trying really hard to have cultural relevance, and the talks of privacy concerns, the utter oversaturation of screens and cameras and smart devices that could be used as spyware. It's just kind of weird because the only way that Will and his family could have saved the world was to use cameras and smart devices. It's like the movie is trying to say that it's bad that we have all these capabilities, but also it's good when some people use it. I guess I'm just rambling at this point, but I just don't see how the movie was able to communicate that being able to spy on people was completely bad. It's like this movie wanted to have a moral to the story, but they didn't know how to pull it off exactly. I think I'm supposed to think that the government spying on us and stealing our private information is bad, and that Will is a good guy, but it's just so messy in its delivery. They should have used Prime Air. Actually, that's the moral of the story. When the world looks bleak, just buy something from Amazon. I'm feeling better already. I think to summarize, it just seems like the larger-than-life ideas and concepts are really cut down by the budget of this film, despite it being backed by Universal and Amazon. Ice Cube was also just the wrong choice for this character. Maybe he tried really hard, but his performance is easily the worst in this movie.
I don't think you understand the dynamics at play here.
Nobody understands, okay? We're in a national crisis.
Unfortunately, this is probably the worst and roughest thing I've seen all year, and hopefully, after this video, you can say the same. You're welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to do me a favor and subscribe. Share this video with people you love so they get to experience this movie too. Anyways, I love you guys. Bye.